Hi guys, John here. A few months back I did a video about how to bake camera shake, and I've since learnt a better way of doing it, so we're back again and we're gonna go over this new method. So the previous method, it basically used the Perlin noise camera shake method when you create the actor, and there is another option. So let's have a look. If we go into your content browser, let me just clear this, and just gonna right click, go to blueprint class, and down to all classes, type in camera shake, and we're just gonna select this one like before, camera shake base. Select that, and we'll call that camera shake, and for this one we call it Perlin, because we still need to use Perlin noise, and I'll show you why in a minute. And if you double click on that, this will open it up, and as you can see we've got this one here that says root shake pattern, and typically what I've seen a lot of people do and what I've been doing is just using the Perlin noise, but there's another one here you can actually use, sequence camera shake pattern. But the thing is, if you select this one, there's actually no sequence to load into it. So I'm going to show you how we can create a sequence, and we're going to use this one to get the keyframes for that sequence, and then we're going to bake it, and then we're going to copy it over to this one. So we're going to need to create two of these blueprint assets, one for Perlin noise and one for sequencer. So to start off with, we'll just select the first one, the Perlin noise one, and we can adjust its settings and get it exactly as we want it. But for now, just going to click compile and save, and then I've got a sequence already started here, just a couple of actors and a camera, and nothing added to it yet. But if we come to camera component, just click on that and up to camera shake, and then we can see the actor that we added. So if we just add that, and we need to make some adjustments. So we set the duration to 0. That means we can resize it to any size we want, and let's just hit compile, save. Let's just have a look, see what's happening. So we've got some very subtle shake. Let's just put that in a loop. So what you'll want to do first off is just play around with the values. Okay, that's a little bit extreme, but I'm not going to refine this right now because you don't really need to see me do that. All you need to know is that it's working. Okay, so basically what you want to do is you get to this stage, you want to tweak your camera shake to get it exactly as you want it, and you're going to want to extend the sequence so you've got quite a lot of keyframes. So now we've got that in. Obviously I wouldn't use those settings for my camera shake, but it's enough to show you how to do this. So what you want to do is click on where it says Cine Camera Actor. Oh, I nearly forgot something. Just move that out of the way a sec. close that. What you want to do on the camera actor, you want to reset its location to 000. So when you bake the keyframes for the camera, it's gonna allow the camera shake to be added in the sequencer without offsetting the camera's position, and hopefully you'll see what I mean in a minute. So right now we can't really see much going on, but that's fine, don't worry about that. So if we just click on the camera and come up to the spanner icon, and where it says bake transform, you want to set that to all frames, and then I think that's okay, just hit OK. Now what you can see is it's done is it's created all these keyframes. If I expand it, you can have a look. You can see the values changing. So it's basically taken that Perlin noise and it's baked it into this transform track. So now we want to use these keyframes and create a sequence from that we can use in the other camera shake that we're about to create. Okay, so back on content browser, we're going to do the same thing as before. Blueprint class, type in camera shake, and this one, camera shake base, select, and we'll just give it a name, camera shake. We'll call this one sequence. So just double click on that, and it's opened it up here. Just bring it down, and this time we are going to choose this one, sequence camera shake pattern. Now when you expand that, you'll see that it wants a sequence, but if you try and load in like a normal sequence, I found it didn't work. But if you click on the little magnifying glass here, if you click on the drop down here, and then at the top it says create new asset. So if you click on that, camera animation sequence, just call this camera shake sequence, just number 2, call it anything that you want. You can click save. Now what I want to do is just compile that a sec and save it, and just move that out of the way a sec. I'm going to come to the first keyframe, so that's it there, and I'm going to highlight all of that. Now the more you've got, the longer your sequence is going to be. If you ended up baking just a few keyframes out, then the sequence that we use for this camera shake is going to be quite short, and then you'll end up having to overlap different camera shakes. You'll see what I mean in a bit. But anyway, so we've got all these keyframes. Just highlight them all, and then you want to just do Control C on your keyboard to copy them. Now if you come back over to your camera shake blueprint, the new one, and then if we open that, double click on it, and now you can see it's loaded that sequence that we've created in the camera shake blueprint. And now if you click the plus symbol here to select transform, and then we want to make sure that we're at the start of the sequence, which we are, and just click on the transform track, and then hopefully this works, Control V, and then that's it. you can see it's pasted it all in, and just expand that and then save that sequence. Now if we come back to our original sequence, if I can find it, is it this one? Camera shake main level sequence. Just double click on that again to open it. Now what we can do is just gonna add in a brand new camera, so we can ignore the previous one now, so we don't need it anymore. So just gonna create a shot. Let's get that out of the way. Now if I come to where it says camera component and add in the camera shake, we can now add in the camera shake sequence that we created. And because we made it nice and long, we're able to resize it to, you know, the length that we made it in our camera shake sequence. And as you can see, that is now our baked camera shake, and we can add this to any camera and you can see that it's consistent. You're getting the same shake pattern at the same frame each time. So let's have another look at the blueprint. You've also got some controls here. So let's say you decided that you wanted that to the shake to be a little bit faster, you can do that. So let's go to 5, which is quite extreme, but just for demonstration, you'll notice that the shake track here has actually shrunk down because it's sped it up. So that's one of the reasons why you want to make a sequence that's really long, so you've got flexibility in the future for adjusting these settings. Let's change it back to 1, and you can see it's the full timeline now. Just compile it. It's not actually, there we go, it's moving. And you can also adjust the intensity of it under here where it says scale. So let's just put in a crazy value like 10, see what happens. Or you can change that to like something a lot more subtle. Yeah, and there you have it. You've basically, now you've got a camera shake pattern that's consistent and you can add it to any track. So hopefully that helps you. This is John from Origenic VFX, and it's easy when you know how. Cheers guys.